Hi, Bob. My name's Michelle and I'm from TAFE New South Wales. And thank you for joining me today to work through a work-based learning program that we've developed in consultation with the Country Hospital.
Cool. This is new, I must say that. I don't do this.
You don't do this?
Not this computer thingy, no. You're doing well.
No. Computers are a bit challenging, but we'll work through that in our work-based program that we've put together. So I just want to make sure that you're all okay there. Are you working from doing your meeting from home or?
At the moment I am, yeah, because it's my day off and I'm just using this to rack up some more time.
Okay, so just make sure that you're comfortable where you are, and if there's any emergencies or anything like that, feel free to just leave the meeting and take care of yourself there. So
no worries, the fridge is out the back. If I really get desperate, I'll go there.
So what I'm going to do, Bob, is firstly, congratulations on working towards team leader role with the gardens and maintenance section at the Country Hospital. That's exciting news for you.
It is, more money, always good.
Yeah, so after 10 years, that's pretty good, So what I'm going to do, Bob, is we'll just have a look through the work-based learning program, and if there's anything that jumps out at you or anything you're not sure about, just please do say something as we go through the document. I'm going to share, I've already provided you that and you've had an opportunity to read through.
Yeah, I did that this morning.
Excellent, thank you. So I'm going to share the screen and we'll work through the pages together. And yeah, just jump in at any time if there's anything that is of concern. So just sharing my screen now. So can you see that on your screen there, Bob?
Work-based learning pathway, yep.
Template. Okay, so it's the pathway templates got there's a lot of information on there, as you see, that was about 23 pages long, but
yeah. Don't expect me to read all that, do you?
Oh, well, we'll go through it together. So it just outlines how we're going to help you in upskilling into the team leader role with the Country Hospital. So, so first off, we've just got your learner name and facilitator being myself. We've got a period of time, so we're going to do it over a 6-month period between the 1st of December and the 1st of June, and identifying that the Country Hospital is your employer. And the reason, as we just talked about, was to upskill into the role of the team leader for the maintenance and grounds team.
Yep.
So our objectives for the training is to become a successful team leader in your role.
Where's that? Where does it say that?
Here is the objective for this training program.
Oh, yeah, cool. Yep, that's better. I can see that.
Successful team leader by providing skills and knowledge to support you in your role with the grounds and maintenance team. So we'll be looking at the following tasks in particular to help you in that role, and that's preparing and managing the rosters for the Country Hospital's dedicated computer system, coordinating any mandatory training using the online systems, acting as the first point of contact for the Country Hospital maintenance and grounds team, so the team you've been working with for the last 10 years, organising the Country Hospital staff meetings with your teams, and collating required computer-generated reports. And there's also reporting back to you on a weekly basis to your support staff manager. So they're the key areas that we're going to focus on. This is just the date that we're talking about our pre-program consultation, so what we're going through today. So in here, we've just got some contract requirements, and that's just stating that your training will be in paid work hours. Country Hospital will meet any training-related expenses and provide appropriate equipment for the training. The work hours that you do is 7 a.m. till 4 p.m, Monday to Friday, that's correct?
Yeah, give or take a day or two.
Yep, and lunch breaks usually 12 to 1.
Yeah, we're flexible though, so works on. We need to delay the lunch. We do that. That's cool.
Yeah. Okay. And we've got a couple of like our stakeholders of the program. So Mary, who's your general manager there at the Country Hospital.
Yeah.
trainer and yourself.
Yep.
So just identifying the location is the country hospital, some facilities and equipment, computers that we'll be using. We'll be utilising training and learning materials and making sure that confidentiality of your learning and your program through the work-based training is checked. So I've just got probably a repeat. It's just about your job title and the key duties of the role that we just went through, that we're looking at upskilling through. So just identified some characteristics there, and some support needs that you might look for. So you've been with the country hospital 10 years, and looking at supporting you to build your skills in completing computer-related tasks and reporting. So sometimes your computing is accessing your computers can be a bit challenging, but we'll work through that over the 6-month program. Some strategies and support in improving your time management, and support will be provided during the training with a feedback meeting held monthly so that you can raise any concerns. It will be with your stakeholders, so it'll be with Mary, your service support manager, and myself. So the learning context. So just talking about that we'll be using the country hospital's training room to deliver the training. We'll do any risk assessment that might be required of the training room. So when you're in there, if you identify any work health and safety issues, please discuss them with myself or Mary.
Yep.
So talked about the availability for training. So the hospital works under a workplace agreement, and all training will be in paid training time, which we talked about, your work hours. So we've nominated the training times of Tuesday each fortnightly from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. And that will be at the country hospital training room there on site. The feedback meetings with your team leaders. If you're not able to attend any of the sessions, is to let myself know, and also your Mary, the supervisor. What else have we got here? That's just a bit of information that you would have read through. So look at some workplace systems and processes, and that we'll be looking at while we're doing the training. So your workplace agreement will be one of the hospital's documents, the policies and procedures, and it's a workplace agreement. So making sure that you're doing your training in paid work time, so forth. The standard operating procedures of the country hospital. We'll be looking at the Work Health and Safety Act, making sure you're safe at work and whilst doing your tasks. We'll be looking at rostering procedures and examples of rosters, some mandatory training that the country hospital put out to their staff. So we'll be looking at maybe developing a checklist for your staff and completing the mandatory training online.
Yep.
Need access to a computer and workplace and incident reports that just for records for us to pursue while you're doing the training.
Yep.
Again, using the resources is the computer, internet and training room at the country hospital. The policy and procedures, we'll be using real workplace scenarios and reporting, and accessing all federal and state legislations, and a mentor or buddy that we'll put in place. Okay, so let's have a look. So just going to scroll down. So this is perhaps a little bit of a repeat. You've had an opportunity to read through there. So if there was anything that you wanted to flag in any of those sections, you could let me know. So looking at assessment strategies, so how we're going to assess you as being competent in those areas of, say, completing your roster for your staff. So we'll be using things like observation, some questioning, formative assessment techniques, and there's actually no formal assessment for this program. But myself and Mary will be involved in the formative assessment tasks to monitor your progress against those objectives that we talked about at the start, which was doing the rosters, the mandatory training, the staff meetings, generating reports. And it's the program will be designed to include as much hands-on practical activities as possible. So manager will be observing you complete these tasks in the workplace. We'll have workplace scenarios or simulation, give you some examples to complete some rostering. So a lot of hands-on practical things so that you can feel like you're
much prefer that.
Yeah, getting into the role. If required, we'll get some evidence from the workplace from a third-party report, and obviously the monthly feedback. So maybe your direct supervisor or support staff manager, they might provide a third-party report to say, yeah, it's been able to create rosters for multiple staff. He's generated the required monthly reports, things like that.
Cool.
So the meetings that we were talking about, that's the support staff, that's in the monthly sessions. Just keep scrolling down. So I just identified a couple of work health and safety issues, so just around computer cords, trip hazards and things like that. But we'll have a look at that when we first enter the training room together and make sure that the room and there's no work health and safety issues identified there. So here was the sign off, the approvals that we had for each party. So thank you for signing that. Now this is the individualised learning program. So looking at what we're going to do in each of the sessions that we've identified. So today's meeting here is around the pre-training meeting. Just looking at just looking at the workplace. There'll be a pre-training meeting which will look at some the hospital's policies, procedures and work instructions prior to commencing your program. The first session we'll look at introduction to the learning program, and the first topic will be using the hospital's online system. So a few different areas that we've outlined, what we'll look at. The time, 7th of December, 8 a.m. to 11, 3 hours. So we'll probably have a little bit of a morning tea break in between. So, and they're the tasks that we're looking at to go through over that time. So, creating a formula for 2 shifts, 2 rosters, and actually doing. So that's kind of like a theory component. And then the second session, we'll recap our first session, the theory, and we'll do some practical about doing the roster and the mandatory training online using the systems and so forth. Back then, so we'll do a feedback session with all our stakeholders, just so that you've got the opportunity to come back and if there's anything that's not quite right.
All right.
And then session 3, so about being your first point of contact in your staff meetings. Topic 4, that was a theory session. This one will be a practical, so it's actually creating the staff agenda, actually running a team meeting, and Mary and I being able to observe in those instances. Again, a little feedback session.
Is that a face-to-face meeting, that thing you were just talking about there, or is that this computer thingy?
That's a Microsoft team like we're doing today. Yeah.
Okay.
Then we have session 5 will be a theory. So just talking around, looking at reporting and things like that. And then the last session there will be about you actually generating the reports and providing the feedback to your support staff manager.
Yeah.
Then we've got just another team meeting session there to provide some feedback. So this is just an overview of the pathway stages and milestones. So it's sort of broken down for you what the dates are, the practical, the time of the sessions, what we'll be looking at in a short, sharp little overview document.
Right.
So,
So I can have that 1 page rather than all 23 pages.
I guess we could look at the actual learning pathway plan, which starts here on page.
So many pages.
There is so many pages, but that's okay. Page 12. So that kind of gives you a bit of a weekly guide of what we're going to be looking at, and then to what we're going to be doing. So, and then down further will be a shortened, condensed version. So
right.
So, and I guess your learner responsibilities through the program would be is perhaps self-reflecting after each of the topics that we go through. And then when we come back to start so as we go back to here, so session 5 is a recap of the previous session, and highlighting and flagging anything that you might have been thinking or working on over the previous 2 weeks, fortnightly, and we can discuss them. If there's anything you're not sure of, we can rehash or have a look at.
All right, so stuff that I've actually started, if I'm not really sure where I'm going, you can help me out.
Yeah, we can rehash that prior to moving on to the next topic. So, and then I guess in the interim,
so I can start creating stuff that I need for work with your help, and then as we go, we can work on that. So I'm actually doing stuff for work, not just doing stuff that isn't going to get used.
No, it'll be actually work-based. Yeah. So actually doing real-life work scenarios and simulations in our training, but then implementing that in the workplace in between our sessions as well.
Yep. Cool.
So Mary will be kind of in the introduction.
She's busy.
Yeah, but she'll be but she'll organise also a buddy to make sure that you've got someone as a support in the workplace as well.
Right.
Yeah. And you can also provide that feedback, as I discussed, with any of those monthly feedback sessions with all our stakeholders, so Mary and myself and perhaps your support manager.
Right.
So was there anything that you wanted to bring up, having a look at that plan and having a bit of a chat about it today?
No, I like the idea of the smaller, sharper the stuff. Like having 23 pages is too much. So just having some, some easier, simpler stuff for me to know where I'm going, that's cool.
Yeah,
that'll help me much better than all of these. This is too big.
Yeah, I understand. It's it's got to have all that information.
Pictures would be good too.
Yes, with all that information at the start is like with the hospital, and make sure that all the requirements and the contract.
Oh, I love their paperwork, I tell you.
Yes, we do.
Get me out there and get the trees. We'll be right.
Yeah, but into that chunky bit for each session. That's kind of where we're going to focus our time over the next 6 months. So, well, if you're happy with that plan for your program, I might get.
Well, I don't get much saying it really. It's about what I need to do to get where I need to go. So that's fine.
Yeah, well, you definitely get a bit of a say. So if there's anything that you want to flag or bring up, please do so at each of our either monthly meetings or prior to our commencing our sessions each fortnight. Wonderful. So provided you just a little template to provide some feedback on that program, and if you are happy to send that through, and we'll get a signed copy back of the work-based program by email, and then we will catch up on our first session on the 7th of December.
No worries.
Excellent. It was great
Thank
to meet
you
you today, Bob. Thank you for your time.
Cheers.